Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the XFFL Show. I'm your host, Josh Mitchell, the owner, head coach, and captain of the New England Nexus, and of course, the commissioner of the XFFL. I'm repping the New York Jets jersey and hat for two reasons. One, huge win against the Bengals. Mike White killing it. Who would have thought? And they just happened to be the Thursday night game against the Colts. So interesting stuff happening in New York. Who would have thought it would be the Jets and not Zach Wilson? Regardless, he's out for a couple more weeks. So let's see if Mike White can prove everyone wrong, I guess, or right. Who knows? Anyway, we're not here for the NFL. Kinda, we are, but also here mainly for the XFFL, one of the greatest fantasy football leagues, I must say, out there. And last week was rivalry week, and had some true rivals, others that I just had to throw together just because the generator wouldn't do it correctly. So, but one of those rivals was a true rival, and we're gonna start with that game. That game being the Malone Mutiny. Our guest from the previous episode, they defeat the Riverhead Blue Waves 105.62 to 94.70. I'm going to tell you, it wasn't Jalen Hurts. He only had 11 points on the day. It wasn't Jalen Waddle. Only had 6. Devontae Smith, 2. Who could possibly have done? None other than, what do you know, Cordero Patterson, 18.2 points on the day. Chase Edmonds, 15.9 points on the day. And as we say in our little group, slippity sly, 16 points on the day. The second highest, well, I should say third highest total for the Malone Mutiny, followed by the Denver Broncos with 17. Whew, did not see that one coming. On the other side of things, Ryan Tannehill, who was just recently picked up by Anthony, decent day, 23 points. Mari Cooper, 26 points. But then you look everywhere else. Gronk only played 5 snaps, didn't do too well, 0 points. Dalvin Cook, only 78 rushing yards, 7.8 points, didn't do too much. And Derrick Henry basically broke his foot. 6.8 points on the day. He's onto the IR. He's on to having surgery. When will he come back? Who knows? They say 6 weeks. They say 8 weeks. They say the rest of the regular season. They say the rest of the year. I'm not a doctor, nor am I Derrick Henry, who just got the foot surgery. So it's up in the air. But yeah. But a great win overall for the Malone Mutiny on rivalry week of all weeks, of course, and a 2-game winning streak for them. And unfortunately, a 4-game losing streak for the Riverhead Blue Waves, because that's just how it goes in the XFFL. Our next matchup, another true rivalry for North Carolina Pride, and it happens to be going to the North Carolina Carpetbaggers, defeating the Charlotte Woo Outlaws 114.96 to 107.56. Aaron Rodgers, decent day, 15 points on the day. Chris Godwin, 28. Very good. Najee Harris has been the solidifying number 1 overall pick this year, and clear cut. Like there's no doubt it was going to end up being him, and he ended up solidifying the fact that he deserved that number 1 pick spot with 21 points. Austin Eckler, 24 points on the day. Overall, very good win, although he did have Emmanuel Sanders in there instead of Robert Woods, so we'll tend to forget that. On the other side of things, Josh Allen, almost 30 points, can't go wrong there. Cooper Kupp, 24 points, can't go wrong there. Kenneth Gainwell, unfortunately, his name wasn't Boston Scott or Jordan Howard, so I'm very sorry for you, Mike, because if you had either of those guys, you would have won. Darn. Jefferson Entry had 10 points and a lot of drops. Again, very sorry for you, Mike. But regardless, a great win for the Carpetbaggers moving forward, and now with a clear-cut number 1 seed, because the Big Ben Blackbeards go down to the Cleveland Clowns 109.56 to 102.02. Kyler Murray, 11 points, didn't do too much. Damon Harris, 14 points, didn't do too much. Debo Samuel, though, very, very good player. 23.1 points on the day. Um, but just want to say though, I had this little talk, Jeff, about doubting you, and I basically made the case that whoever scores more points, Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelsey, is going to win this game. Let's look at the stats. Tyreek Hill, 27.4 points. Travis Kelsey, 4.7. Obviously, this was a very close matchup, a less than 8 point differential. So I understand that a lot of other things could have gone right, but unfortunately, they did not for the Big Ben Blackbeards. They are now falling into second place at a 5-3 record, and Tom and the Cleveland Clowns now at a 4-4 record. But overall, Big Ben Blackbeards, they had a decent day. Williams for the Chiefs, their running back, 17 points. Zeke only 11. Yeah, it's all right. DK Metcalf, 22 points, very good. And then couldn't play Dak, decided to go with Trevor Lawrence and only 13 points. Bro, what is up with Trevor Lawrence? He's not used to losing, and it's gotten to his head. Something's up, and it's unfortunate to see, but just glad he's not on my team. Next matchup wasn't really a rivalry, but again, that's just how the generator went. Tried to get as much real rivalries as I could. Couldn't. So we had the New York Potato Skins defeating the Alpine Extreme 132.56 to 99.88. Let's look at the Potato Skins side. Tom Brady, 27.2 points, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Could have had a lot more. Hopkins only 8. Joe Mixon, 25 points. Darrell Henderson, 22 points. And then looking on that bench, Jonathan Taylor, 21 points. So, crazy. Literally, it's 4 really, really good running backs. 4 easily top 20 running backs fantasy wise. And DeAndre Swift just happened to be the player that he ended up playing over Jonathan Taylor. Only 8 points. He still won. Still would have won, even if he didn't play DeAndre Swift or anybody in that position. Other side of things, Noah Lamar had to play Daniel Jones, but he didn't have to play. He chose to play. 17 points, solid. Adam Thielen, 19 points. Played T.Y. Hilton, 3 points, and he's out. Kamara, 16 points. It's okay. And Devontae Booker had 17. Just didn't get over the 100 mark. So that's always, you don't like seeing that. You like seeing at least 100 on the board, maybe 110, 120, because in this league, 1 week the high can be 190 points. Next week, the high could be like 120, 130. So it's just, you get that 110-ish range, you're in at least a shot to be in it. But obviously, more the merrier. And in our final game, where it just happened to be most points, that'd be the New England Nexus. Me. 134.56 to 110.50. Joe Burrow, 21 points in the day. Would have started Justin Herbert, but you know what? Nah, we're going to go with Burrow. Good decision, too. Mike Evans, 12 points. Not really existent. Leonard Fournette, non-existent. Terry McLaurin, not existent. But you know who is inexistent? A.J. Brown. We're just going to call him the phenomenal A.J. Brown. Wrestling fans, I know you got that reference. 31 points on the day. Back-to-back weeks where A.J. Brown has more than 27 points. Thank goodness I kept you for a reason. I didn't trade you, thank goodness. Very solid outing. On the other side of things, Patrick Mahomes, what's up with Patrick Mahomes? Keep saying this every week. 15 points, 1 passing touchdown, 1 pick. Stephon Diggs, 15 points. Nice. Justin Jefferson, 4. Very obscure because Justin Jefferson is expecting more. It just happened to be the matchup where they just threw it to Adam Thielen more. Rest of his team, Dalton Schultz didn't do much. James Robinson got hurt. Tyler Lockett had his breakout game of the year and really worried me. 12 catches for 142 yards. Yeah, I was a little concerned. After watching that performance, I'm like, bump the brakes. Give it to DK Metcalf or literally somebody else isn't Tyler Lockett. I just kept throwing it to Tyler Lockett. And then Seattle's defense, too, with 13 points. And yeah. But yeah, I would say a very, very solid outing for the New England Nexus. Now, as I've mentioned before, the highest score of the week just happened to be me of the New England Nexus. And as tradition on the show, besides last week with Chris, the highest score is the guest on the XFFL show. So I know I said I'm supposed to interview myself. I just don't know how to tackle this. Hey, Dingus, over here. Oh, hello. It's been quite a while. I haven't heard from you. Well, I'm here now, so let's get this over with. Actually, I'm trying to keep this as PG as possible, if you don't mind. Off. All right, noted. Let's start the interview, shall we? All right. First off, congrats on the win versus the Rochester Revenge for Rivalry Week. Over a 20-point victory. Just talk about the win itself and the team overall. Your congrats seems very sincere. Thanks. Anyway, yeah, team did what it needed to do. Aaron Jones did his job. Joe Burrow did his job. AJ Brown did his job. Plus the work of Terry McLaurin and Mike Evans combined. Coming off an idiotic loss to the Mutiny, we really needed this victory. Now, speaking of AJ Brown, back-to-back weeks with 27 points. Now, tell me, is this a sign of things to come? Yeah, better be. Here's some little behind the scenes for you. I almost traded him. It must have got to his head because he's now playing like a monster and should be playing like a monster every single week. This week, matchup versus the Rams. Do I like it? Not really. But who else is going to make plays for the Titans? Derrick Henry? I don't think so. Hashtag the waves. What did I just say about the swearing? Never mind. Anyway, looking ahead, next coming week, you're going up against the Carpetbaggers. You're going to be without Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, and scary Terry McLaurin. What are you going to do to replace those guys that are on the bye? Well, obviously, I'm going to look into free agency and the waiver wire pool, but I'm not really concerned. Looking back, what they did last week versus the Revenge, or should I say, didn't do against the Revenge, they combined for 26.6 points. Even with those poor ass performances, I won and I got the high score for the week. So don't be surprised if we walk away with the victory against the Carpetbaggers. As you know, anything can happen in the XFFL. Yeah, you're not wrong. Literally anything can happen in the XFFL, and that's for sure. But with that being said, as we usually conclude with these interviews, usually let you have the floor. Just talk about your team, talk about your expectations, and talk about your matchup versus the Carpetbaggers. Yeah, thanks. Anyway, Zach, looking at you, buddy. Facing off this week, clearly, I am the underdog. But I must say, don't underestimate me. Don't underestimate the Nexus. Sure, we do have several key people on the bye, but I still feel I have a good chance of getting this win because I also noticed that your top receiver, Chris Godwin, is also on the bye. Obviously, Jamar Chase, Robert Woods, they can go off and you could easily beat me. Or, how's this? You play Emmanuel Sanders over Robert Woods like you did last week. Thoughts? You do you. I know you make the right decision. Anyways, now for the rest of the XFFL. I'm here as the head coach, captain, and owner of the Nexus to state that we are in full playoff push mode. So, what's going to be for the rest of you owners? Are you going to decide that you're going to fight for a playoff spot? If you're not, just get the hell out of our way. Make it easy on yourself. Get a better draft pick. Dump off some key players, maybe even to me. Who knows? But do yourself a favor. It's full steam ahead. Speaking of last week's opponent, Rochester Revenge. I'll tell you right now, buddy, it's not your year. You won last year against me, but this year clearly isn't. If I were you, I'd start selling before it's too late. Hashtag no respect. Alpine Extreme, More like extremely disappointed. No Calvin Ridley till whenever. I'll withhold from making the joke. I don't need some stupid ass alliteration nicknames to make me feel good about my players. Big Ben Blackbeards, what was your quote last week? Doubting me again, huh? Yes. Yes, I am. Yes, we all are. Even though I personally, didn't say that it would come down to Hill or Kelsey. I really felt like I did say that. And again, I was right. Sucks to suck. Now, as for the rest of the league, I'm kind of a time restraint, so don't have enough time to rip y'all one. I got some other, important things to do rather than be on a stupid StreamYard call, if you know what I'm saying. But I'll leave you with this nugget. Hashtag we are Nexus.
This year, not only do I plan on winning a title, I plan on steamrolling the competition, winning the title with ease.
Oh, okay. I did not see that one coming. Funny, yes, but I did not see that one coming. Let's shift gears away from that that guy and let's move on to the previewing portion of week 9 of the XFFL. Again, only 6 games remain and a fight for the playoffs is alive and well right now. Let's get to our first game and it's just I guess we'll start with me. The New England Nexus versus the North Carolina Carpetbaggers. Justin Herbert's going against Philadelphia. I love that matchup. AJ Brown versus the Rams. Don't like that at all. Um, Aaron Jones versus Kansas City. That should be a good matchup there. On the other side of things, Aaron Rodgers versus Kansas City. He should be throwing for like 4 or 5 touchdowns or not. We'll see, but probably the first part. Jamar Chase versus Cleveland. I don't really like that, but again, it is what it is. Bobby Trees versus the Titans. That could be a favorable matchup, but again, kind of all depends who Matt Stafford is just wanting to throw to. Cooper Cup, Robert Woods, random Tyler Higbee. Yeah, probably not Tyler Higbee. But again, and then the message coming in yesterday saying that Noah Fant has been placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. Obviously, it's earlier in the week. He can come back. Willing? Remains to be seen. I still think the Carpetbaggers have a pretty good chance at defeating me. I know the other me wouldn't say that. But I will say wild card in this game is the Buffalo Bills defense. They've put up 20 points before, so I would not be surprised if they did that again, especially against the Jags defense, which is absolutely terrible. Offense, defense, the whole team's terrible. Urban Meyer's, you know who. Next matchup, Lone Mutiny taking on the Alpine Extreme. Now, this one should be interesting. Didn't think it would be this close, but it's projected to be this close. I do like Kamara's matchup versus the Atlanta Falcons. Obviously, we're getting Lamar Jackson back. I don't know why I said we, but Alpine Extreme getting Lamar Jackson back, going against Minnesota. Minnesota has a sneaky defense, so maybe they can stop him. Probably not. A solid on that side of the fence. And the other side of the fence, Jalen Hurts versus the Chargers. Chargers must be pissed off. You lose, you take a bye, and you lose again. Obviously, they're going to be coming out for going after Jalen Hurts. Jalen Waddle versus Houston. I like that matchup. That's the Deshaun Watson was supposed to be traded to Miami. Guess not happening game. And pretty much just Cordell Patterson versus New Orleans. I like that one too. I'm going with the extreme because I still like Lamar Jackson to put up points. Jalen Hurts last week, 11 points against Detroit too. He only threw the ball 14 times. I think it's a sign of things to come. I think Jalen Hurts is tanking. Eagles may be taking. Who knows? But he's definitely taking. Next matchup, Cleveland Clowns taking on the Charlotte Outlaws. Matchups to note, Kyler Murray versus the 49ers, division rivalry. Let's see how that plays out. Tyreek Hill versus Green Bay. Green Bay's always been questionable at corner. So maybe that's the opportunity for him to even get more points. Had a great outing last week. So Damien Harris versus Carolina. Carolina's just fallen off the face of the earth. So I wouldn't be surprised if Damien Harris has a pretty good game too. And Nick Chubb versus Cincinnati. On the other side, Charlotte Outlaws, Josh Allen versus Jacksonville. Mark this one right here. Josh Allen, big day ahead. Cooper Kupp versus Tennessee Titans. Again, kind of all depends if Matt Stafford says, yeah, it's a Cooper Kupp day or if it's Robert Woods day. Even when it's a Robert Woods day, it's still a Cooper Kupp day. Other things to know, Mike Gesicki going up against Houston. I think that's a sneaky play if you do DraftKings or whatever. Play that man against Houston's defense. Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I'm going with the Woo Outlaws on this. I like Josh Allen's matchup versus Jacksonville. I like Mike Gesicki versus Houston. Yeah, I just like it overall. Next matchup, the New York Potato Skins versus the Big Ben Blackbeards. What should have been the rivalry matchup, just randomizer, did not work. This is the hashtag Boot Me Brian game for the Potato Skins. There's no Tom Brady. Whatever will he do? But he does have 4 running backs at whim that he's just going to pick 3, maybe 2. Who knows? Right now, it's slated for Jonathan Taylor against the Jets. I like that a lot. But yeah. On the other side of things, though, the Cowboy trio is going against Denver's defense. They had a really good outing versus Washington, but Washington sucks. So, yeah, I'm going at the Blackbeards on this one. And our final matchup of the day in the game where the losing streak will come to an end. Maybe there might be a tie. Who knows? The Riverhead Blue Waves versus the Rochester Revenge. 4-game losing streak versus 5-game losing streak. Right now, Russell Wilson's still not being cleared to play. And, spoiler alert, they're on a bye. So, it will be Ryan Tannehill again versus the Rams. I'm thinking Ryan Tannehill struggles this week. Unless Adrian Peterson decides to say, yeah, I'm kind of like Derrick Henry too, so you're going to need to stack the box so we can help out Ryan Tannehill. Other things to note, Dalvin Cook versus Baltimore. Yeah, that's kind of a toss-up. Keenan Allen versus Philadelphia. I really like that. Now Keenan Allen's kind of shifting towards the number 2 wide receiver on that team, so I think he's going to get better matchups versus corners that are number 2 or number 3. On the other side, Patrick Mahomes versus Green Bay. Bro, I don't know what's going on. Last 2 weeks, 8 points, 15 points. You kind of have a slow decline down. Diggs versus Jacksonville. Love that matchup. Jefferson versus Baltimore. Toss up. And will Darren Waller be healthy against a very, very good matchup against the New York Giants? I don't know. Yeah, this is kind of a toss-up to me. I would say if Devontae Adams can play, I'm going to pick the Riverhead Blue Waves. If Devontae Adams cannot play, I'm going with the Rochester Revenge. But again, I don't see this being a very high-scoring game at all. I think this can be like a 115 to 120 sort of game. So, but yeah, so my answer is dependent on the play of Devontae Adams. And with that concludes a wonderful, exciting, and different episode of the XFFL Show. I am very thankful for everybody that tunes in and watches. Very thankful for me who stopped on the show. Had a little antsy, little rebellious side, but it's okay. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy this week of football. Go Jets. Go Nexus.